Welcome to my first tutorial. My name is Yellowfly, and today I'm going to show you how you can add borders and watermarks to your pictures using the program BorderMaker. I use Adobe Lightroom to edit my pictures. Even though this program has a way to add watermark, I find its option very limited. So what I do once I do my pictures in Lightroom, I export them to a folder as a full resolution, and then I use BorderMaker to resize them, add my borders, my watermarks, and text that I need to. So to download the program, just go to the website. Up here, I'll put that information on the video, so you can just click on it as well. And then we can see what the program can do right here. So I'll go look just at this one, for example. We've got a border on top and a border at the bottom with a text at the bottom right there, and on top there's text information, but actually this is pulled out of the EXIF information of the picture, where you can see the model of the camera, the shutter speed, aperture, ISO, focal length, and the date that's been the pictures have been taken. So once you get into the program, just click on download, and you got the options to download for Windows, Mac, or you can even go with Linux. So once you've got it downloaded and installed and you open the program, this is what you see right here. So there's a few options in the program, pretty limited there, but there's a few ones. So if you just click on the window menu, you have 4 options only that we can see. The one I checked is use spinner controls rather than sliders, which allow me to fine-tune the size of the borders or the exact placement of the text a little bit easier than using the sliders. So that's something you might want to do as well. Okay, and then we've got a profile section, which simply allows us to save all the settings from those 3 tabs below the source, the settings and destinations, so that we can recall that afterwards if we want to, and apply all the settings right away. Then under source, so that's going to be the easy part, we just tell them which folder to pick the pictures from. So this is that dump JPEG folder. That's the folder I export my Lightroom pictures as a JPEG to. So they go into that folder. Then the other thing you have to look at is preview file. So that's a little downside of the program. You have to manually tell it which file is going to be your preview file, so that when you click on preview, you will see a preview right here that will show up. So that's not something that's manually select that. So just don't forget to do this part. And then let's just go over destination real quick. So we've got a place where we can change the file name if we want to. I usually don't, but then we can use a little assistant to change the lowercase, uppercase, same thing with the extension, add a little counter if we want to, and all that kind of thing. So then on the other tab under destination, we got folder, which we tell it where we want to save the new image that we created with the borders and watermark and all of that, where we want to save it to. So for me, I create another subfolders under my dump JPEG, which is called website, and that's what I have. Make sure the copy image to folder is checked, and overwrite. I've selected to always overwrite the picture in case there's one with the same name. You can choose the what your default option wants to be. Either you can let the program ask you every time what you want to do, or you can always overwrite or always skip. I pick always overwrite on my side. Then we've got the settings. So this is where everything happens. First, we got to be able to resize. So I usually check that. The purpose for me using BorderMaker is to create a new image to put on a website. So usually something around 1,000 pixel by 1,000 pixel is usually good enough for me. So that's usually what I put in there. I always keep the aspect ratio, JPEG quality. I go to 80%, which is the quality is not going to be 100%, so it's going to be a little bit less. But at 1,000 by 1,000 pixels, you won't be able to see that much of a difference. If you want to do a print, for example, there's going to be a big difference between 80% JPEG quality and a 100% JPEG quality. Also, what I do is I have some sharpen the image a little bit with a mount 200 and radius 50. That's the default setting that we see in there. One thing about the size too is that the larger size will be 1,000. So the larger size of it. So the smaller size will be whatever ratio that will be. equivalent of right there. Under the settings, um, pretty much leave it. I want to make sure the retain EXIF information is there, simply because I see that afterwards. So now we can go directly into the main section of the program, which is the text, border, and watermark. I like to start with border, and the other ones will actually be the same way. We'll go through everything there. So on the borders, we have little options right here, which allow us to add, layers of different borders that we want to create. So we can, add layers, edit them, delete them, move them up or down, or duplicate them. So let's just add a layer. So this is what the window is going to look like. We're going to have, so on the left side, we got our preview from our preview image that we selected. And then on the right, we'll be able to change the different settings. So by default, the color is black, and we got a border size of 10 pixels. The first option we have is auto color. Okay, so when we select auto color, that allows us to pick the most used color of the image and to put that on the border itself. So in our case, kind of a bluish color like what we have over here. So we can do that. Other option is if we just stay click on the color, on the black color right here, we can go and pick another color if we wanted to. Or we can just click on this one and have different options to select exactly what color we want. So we can just turn back to black and do this. One option that I really like under BorderMaker is border size. If I check this little box, now I can change that my left and right, top and bottom, and put different colors. So if I want to just go and enter 25, I can do that, and maybe I can do just 100 at the bottom because I want to be able to add some text later on right there. If I want to, I can also change and put a round border. Let's try to move that. I can just click on the text and move the mouse left to right, and here we go. We can just change the edges there, make them more rounder on that side. So we can just keep that. Now let's say I want to add another border. So here we go. So let's do this. I'm going to want that to be a lot smaller, and I'm going to want that to be white. For example, we can just do this, and that started looks pretty nice on that side. And then, like I said, I could go in here and change the order. So there I got the white on the very edge of the picture. So I can just change that back. So let's go back in here. And this time I'm going to be using a blending mode. Well, first let's put that the size bigger. Let's do 50 blending mode, and let's go with saturation, which is going to allow us to have that border to be in black and white. So, and right now I forgot that part. I got the backgrounds put to 9. So if I go back to 0 and we'll look at the black borders, now everything is sharp. If we look at the rocks right here, but I could go there and change how much blurriness we want in there. So we can go all the way to 100% and see close to nothing. So if I wanted to, I can put that back to 9. And same thing, could add another border, something really small, and just give it a color of a gray. Something like that. Here we go. Let's see if I want to do this. I'm doing a lot of different options to show you what the software can do, not especially to make it look, super nice, but at least you'll get an idea of what the software can do for you. So let's say I'm done with my border. So now I'm going to click OK on this. I can click on Preview, and I could see already the change, and that will be my final picture. That's what exactly it will look like. And it actually even tells you at the bottom right here, 1000 pixels by 757 pixels right there. Then we can go into the text, and we're going to add some text information here. So let's say I want to make sure nobody's going to come and steal my pictures. I'm going to put my little name there, and so write my name down, and then I could change the they call gravity, where the text is going to be. So it can be at the middle, top, and each of the corners. We can change that. So let's say I want to put it right here, but then I want to move it a little bit. So I can move that a little bit this way and go there. It's a long direction. And here we go. Like that, I've got my name up in the corner. Again, we can use the auto color that we've got right there if we want to. we can change the color, transparency of it, and we can change the font, which is really nice. So it doesn't always work. Where we have got lots of font on my computer, so it takes a little bit of time to show up. And I can just go and pick something that could maybe look kind of nice. Like I said, it's not really a big deal for this demo right here, where you can just go and whatever we really want. There we go. Let's sell on this one. Oh, same thing. The font, I could change, make it bold, just slightly if I want to. So don't make something too big, but just make it just a little bit bigger if we want. Here we go. Now the other thing I can do, oops, I don't want to color. I can click on shadow and add some shadow to the picture. So if you keep looking at the picture over there, I could change, well, of course you can change its color, its transparency, but I could also change its size, so make it bigger or smaller. So maybe if I can just move it first. Here we go. We can see, you can move the text, and now if I change the size, it's a little bit easier to see the difference that it makes. So I'm going to bring that just back a little bit closer to it. Something like that. And then I'm done with one. So now let's say I want to create another text. Let's put another one. This one I'm going to want a bottom center, but I don't want the text information right here. I'm going to use the little assistant. And what it's going to do is going to pull out all my EXIF information. So let's say I want to put the model of my camera. So I want to see my camera that I have right here. I want to change the font. So let's go. If I remember right, there was one right here. I want that to be bold. Bold. We can keep the size right here, but I want to put auto color. There we go. That makes it look nice. No, I've got my model of my camera, but let's say I want more settings like the date and time, for example. But I don't want to have to redo all the settings again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to move that up a little bit. Here we go. Now I can take this off and just go and look for the date and time. We have this, and now let's try that one more time. 45, and this time we're going to change. We're going to want to put the we can put the exposure time. We can go and select the f-stop. We're going to take the ISO, where that one is, ISO speed. Here we go. Just write the word ISO there, and we're going to put also the focal length as well in there. So we try to find where that one's at. 18. Here we go. Like that, I've got my settings of the shot that I took, the date, and what camera I was using. So if I'm happy with that, I can click on OK. Though if you have seen it, go back into borders just a little bit, and let's edit this layer. If we go back in there, we see the top part is of the tag. There's nothing there, so we can change the size of this, and oops, and bring that down until it kind of match. There we go. Let's do that. Now that looks a little bit better. So same thing, let's preview another time, because sometimes this preview right here at the bottom of the main application show better exactly what it will look like. So rather than using the little preview that we have when we edit tags or borders or watermarks. So that's what we've got. So if we want to add some watermarks, we can just go right here, and that will be the exact same concept. You see that gravity part, we can see the offset that we can move, can add some shadow to it. So let's try to browse that, and let's go in here, damp, where did I put that? Here we go. So that was one of the old logos that I had. So here we go. We can put that in the center if we want. Add some shadows to it. Here we go. And then if we wanted to, we can duplicate that and move that to the side. Do another one, put it over to the side. I mean, like I said, we're not here to make it look pretty, but it's just for you to understand the concept of how that's going to work. If I'm not happy with the layers, I'm just go and delete it right away. So once I'm done with that, I can click on preview, and that's what my picture is going to look like. So I'm done with that one picture only. So I could, if I wanted to, I could just save it. But the point is to go through all the pictures that we've got into our source folder. So I could go and save this profile, so I don't have to redo it again if I'm happy with it. And then I can just click on process, and it will go through everything, all the pictures that we have, one by one. Is going to create them into the website folder that we see right here. So see, so let's see when that's going to be done. Website, here we go. So let's look at this first one. I'll make that just a little bit smaller so we can see the entire window. Okay. Well, never mind. That's what it's going to be. So we see our picture, we got the date and all that at the bottom. So that's always, oh, come on. Okay, here we go. That'll be better. So we see all the information. So there's some information that's not displayed right here, and that's just like the aperture and the focal length. That is because I was using the manual lens, so that's not in the EXIF information. That's not going to show. So now I can just move and looking at all the other pictures, and you can see that the color is changing of the text based on the picture that we have. So I think that makes, I like the way it looks that way. So of course the logo right in the middle is just simply ugly, so make sure you don't do that. But it's just, again, to show you how that works. So can keep going through the pictures a little bit to show you. So that's all how the program works. It's fairly simple. You just have to figure out exactly what the look that you want, and that should be about it.